lot of stuff to learn, but I promise you, if you just take the time to do it, it will pay off. And I started to see the fruit of my works, maybe not the next day, but within the next couple months. We were really flowing, and I feel like I keep growing closer and closer and more connected to my siblings every single day now that I actually put the time into that, and it's totally worth it.
Hello everyone, we are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. And just kind of wrapping up time in the studio today with Abbie and Bella and Crissy. And we were just chatting here about some of the different things that each of the girls here have worked on that has really helped them kind of relate to people more, communicate with people more, and feel more confident about themselves. Because we all know we're kind of like a work in progress, but some of us have some areas that we know that we need to step it up in, and that maybe we were a little weak in. And so I just would love the girls today to explain a couple things that they feel like they kind of have grown in, and therefore, develop more confidence in it, and they feel like they're thriving in it more. Let's start with Bella.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Bella, and today I'm going to be explaining a little bit of what I had to work through. And so what I had to work through, especially a couple years ago, was probably using my voice more, especially when I was trying to communicate my ideas or thoughts, or even if I was trying to do something like this, I had to work on speaking up and using my voice so that people could actually understand me. And it's something that was a little bit more of a battle, but then Mom and Dad really helped me push through it, whether I was feeling shy or, just nervous or whatever it was. And now it's, I'm doing great. And it was just for sure something I had to work through, was just not using my voice to my full potential.
Yeah, I think like for Bella, like if we just think about things that we have been working through the years, we really feel like our kids need to feel confident when they're answering questions, or whether they're communicating, or whether they're meeting somebody, or whether they're walking into a room, that even if you are nervous, there are things we can do to help our confidence. And for Bella, one of the things that she was not strong in at the time is more of a whisper. She would kind of communicate in more of a whisper.
Kind of keep my thoughts to myself and...
Right. Kind of keep her thoughts to herself. Even if she had something to say, she would bring it later on instead of engaging in a conversation. And as you can imagine with our size family, it's no small conversation. There's 8 of us that have a lot to say, and have opinions and have ideas, which are all positive, but you have to speak up in our family.
Right. Because later, after a conversation, I'd be like, oh, and I was thinking this during our conversation, and Mom would be like, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you speak up and give your opinion on that? And so that's something that we had to work through for a season.
I feel like you can almost think of a story of everybody's at a table and everybody has an idea, whether it's almost like a business meeting. You're all there, but if you don't project your thoughts now, then they won't be heard later.
Right. And that's kind of what's going on all day long at our house. We're typically around our island. We have an island in our kitchen, or a big table, depending on if we're a different house. And everyone's kind of chiming in, whether it's what we're going to do for the weekend, or what we're going to go explore, or a vacation we want to go to, or maybe even we're talking about other things like ideas and thoughts about, who knows, sports or school, or it doesn't really matter. And everyone's engaging. And Bella just was going through a season where she just wouldn't speak up on her thoughts a lot. And even when she did, I was like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And then she'd be like, never mind, don't worry about it. And I'd be like, no, that's actually not okay. We would like you to engage, and we'd like to hear what you have to say. So let's practice. I would love for you to use your voice like you do when you're mad at your sisters.
Yes.
Or when Drew's just really drove you nuts. Or, that, you're screaming because, you just won a tournament or something like that. Because I know you have it in you.
Yeah.
And for some reason in these situations that seem a little more busy, heavy, whatever the case may be, we would love to hear from you.
Right, because I remember once when we were taking a self-defense class, and and they were having you practice like yelling no, doing the moves and things like that. And my no was not loud at all. Like, I don't think anyone would have been scared with that. So then later in the car, Mom was like, Bella, like you need to yell no. Like if someone's doing something to you, you need to yell no. And that was like one part of what we worked through.
Right. Just working through it. And now, I mean,
the other day I go in the car, Mom, I was talking to Crissy and you were talking for a minute and I was talking loud and Mom's like, Bella, shush, I'm trying to tell someone in the back something.
Yes, we overcame.
Yes.
Whatever it was that we were overcoming. No, we overcame, more of the shyness of the voice or not really expressing ourselves in a vocal way. We've done it very well.
Yes, we have.
Yes. And with that confidence, though, came even more opportunities for you.
Right, for sure.
I mean, because she started speaking up and using her voice more, there was serving opportunities at church now that most likely would have never happened because she wouldn't have even put herself in a position to be serving at a level of leadership.
Right.
Or different opportunities have come along the way, for instance, to be practicing with the varsity team.
Yes.
For tennis and for the coach to recognize you because you decided to speak up and ask with authority if you could get that extra practice.
Right. It was a lot of go for no this past season. Like, Coach Percy, can we please practice with varsity today? He's like, yeah, I'll check on that for you and things like that. So it's just like the opportunity would have never came if we didn't use our voice to ask.
Same thing for even like opportunities for school and stuff like that. I mean, having choices on what you want to study, what we want to put into our curriculum, what it is that we want to do. If you didn't speak up your opinion, you would have just been doing what anybody else wanted.
Right. And now we're doing history books. And for our history, we're doing reading books, doing reports and things like that. And that's the kind of thing I love to do. So I'm really excited for this year.
Yeah. So I think, with that came the confidence to be able to go out there and be who you're called to be. Awesome. All right. Let's ask Abbie now.
Hello there, everybody. I would like to just say some things that I've been going through that I've overcome is similar to Bella's, but in a different aspect of it, is sticking up for others and sticking up for my family, but not in a rude way. Whether it was like during arguments, Mom would come down and see that, like whether it's Drusy and Ellie just arguing with each other and almost all the end part of it, and then somebody would just have to would almost get not in trouble, that's not the word for it, but just get blamed for something that wasn't true because there wasn't a full understanding of the whole argument. So then after that went down, I'd go up to Mom and, hey Mom, I saw something different in this whole situation. I saw the whole thing. Would you like to hear it? And it's also being honest and being humble to say, would you like to hear it? Not just, okay, I'm going to tell you, but like, would you like to hear it? And of course, my mom wants to hear the whole story. She doesn't want to blame people if it's not their fault, or my dad doesn't want to blame people, or we don't want to blame people if it wasn't their fault. And if somebody has an outside perspective, that is always so much better that we know is an honest perspective. So then I would tell her that. She's like, thank you for telling me. I really did not know that. I will go fix that right now. And I had to learn that because I remember going through a season where it was like, why didn't anybody tell me? Like, Mom would be doing something and then later there'd almost be this whole argument and this fight over it because she didn't know the whole story, but she was trying to protect her kids from getting into this whole outburst of an argument that would lead to another and another. So then she's like, why didn't anybody tell me? It was like for different little things. It wasn't always an argument. It was maybe something else, but we had to learn. She wants to hear the whole story. She wants to know the full things. And also, I want my siblings to not be blamed for something they didn't do. I don't want them to feel bad that they did something that wasn't even true. So it wouldn't be with a big crowd. It wouldn't be anything like that. I'd just go up and if Mom was having like her own kind of quiet moment or just doing something where she was alone and just was having a minute and she looked peaceful and calm, I'm like, hey Mom, I just want to tell you, I saw an outside perspective of this whole thing. Would you like to hear it? So that's something that I've learned.
Yeah, I think for Abbie, especially like, in all aspects is, different situations would happen. It wouldn't just be an argument. Maybe it'd be a conversation that some kids had with a group of friends. Maybe it was a situation where, the kids, all of them were bringing up certain things that they did or didn't want to do that day, or whether it was schoolwork, or whether it was friend groups, or whether it was serving opportunities, or people coming over, or whatever the case may be. There'd be so many situations going on, and I would only get bits and pieces of it because for whatever reason, nobody would come and fully explain it. And then I would maybe walk in on a scene and not know the full story.
Because we're all so busy. It's so busy. And my mom's trying to navigate 6 kids, trying to help all of them with all of the different things that they're going through. Whether it was like, let's just say one of us were going through a hard situation, then mom would come to me like, because she trusts me. She knows my position of trying to see an outside perspective, of noticing things and knowing the full truth. She's like, what have you seen? What's been going on that this person's acting like this? What has happened that's changed their behavior in certain ways? Because it can really help, because my mom and dad, they're busy. They have this podcast, they have businesses, all the different things that they're helping. They're helping so many people at one time, whether it's church, family, friends, all the different things, traveling back and forth. So they can't always see 24/7 what's going on with all of us. But us siblings are always together. There is always like all of us, at least with somebody. Nobody's like by themselves. So having that perspective, mom can know that she can come to us and say, I need to know an outside perspective of what's been going on. I've been busy. I've been out of town for a couple of days, but then I come home and see what's going on, and I don't understand. I don't want my kids like this. So what's going on?
Right. And I think it was a real opportunity for Abbie, again, to step up, and all the kids do it. They all look out for each other so well, but an opportunity for her to come and be like, hey, mom, I want to bring this to you. And that takes a lot of strength. And at one point, maybe she didn't feel as confident to do so, but now she's been encouraged to. And wow, what a blessing, because it's then spilled out outside of our family, whether she's sticking up for other people, if she's at a sport event with somebody, or if she's at church. She's always looking out on how to give somebody the full picture versus just little bits.
Yeah, and we've also, my mom and dad, I don't know if I really had ever a weakness of it, but it was never brought out of me in the beginning. But what I mean by not brought out, it was slowly brought out. Like, my parents from the start taught us, we're going to look out for each other. That's just our standard in our family. Knowing that's a standard is you're going to live up to that. That's just what we're going to do. You're not going to be able to go below that standard. And so learning from that, I went in and I'm like, okay, slowly by slowly, I never had like a weakness in it, but slowly by slowly, it just kept getting better and better and better, to where now I'm so confident in just speaking up, whether it's like even people I don't even know, but I know it's like around me. I know like that they're there. I'll speak up for them, whether it was like a golf like a couple of years ago. And so it's like all these different things just go together to who you've become now.
That's awesome. All right, moving it on to Crissy. How have you grown and changed?
I feel like there's many ways that I have grown and changed. We're all kind of on a theme of communication, whether Bella had to learn how to speak up more, Abbie had to learn how to speak up differently. For me, it was how to speak up more effectively. I've never had a problem of using my voice. It's just how I used it.
No, you've never had a problem.
Never had a problem.
No, I think you were born already communicating.
Yes,
I
was.
Yes. You spoke early.
Yeah.
You always had a lot to say.
Yes, I became very frustrated when I could not
communicate
exactly
your words. Yes.
Yes.
It has not been any lack of you trying. Yes.
And because of that, I have, with such a big family, I got into a tendency of maybe being really loud or being really pushy in how I said things. So I really had to watch my tone. For instance, I would try to talk to people and they would almost seem offended to me. And I'm like, I don't understand why you're offended. Like, what's wrong with you? And then my mom would be like, Crissy, do you realize how you just said that? Like, whatever you said, that wasn't the problem, but it was your tone of voice. And I had to realize or work on for a long time how I used my tone of voice to impact the other person's feelings. So that was the number one thing I had to work on. Number two, when I started reading the personality type books and love language books, I realized I can communicate with a person about 2 times as effective just knowing more about them. So I learned every single one of my siblings' love languages, tendencies, everything that would tick them off, and everything that would make them, not explode. And I chose
not explode. That's
exactly,
a good one.
because I've always heard that your siblings know exactly how to tick you off. Don't fall for the bait. But I wanted to be for the person who didn't even lay the bait out in front of them.
Good stuff.
So not like I am perfect or anything, but I made a decision to try to not lay the bait, not try to bait them into it, but be the person who makes it a comfortable area for them to be able to speak their own feelings and to make it a safe place and not make them feel on the defense. So that was a lot of things I had to work through, but I continually am getting better, continually getting more consistent in what I'm doing, and it's really been a great journey for me.
Yeah, for Crissy, she definitely decided to dive into some good resources so that she could effectively communicate her feelings, but also hear from other people. Mm-hmm. I mean, as you can imagine, there's a lot of different personalities here and a lot of different things going on. And so if somebody was hurt, she had a better idea on how to listen to one of her siblings about that. Or if somebody was really excited about something and she didn't understand why, how to communicate that with somebody.
Right.
Or, if there was a tension, how to get that out in the open versus causing more issues.
For sure. Lot of stuff to learn, but I promise you, if you just take the time to do it, it will pay off. And I started to see the fruit in my works, maybe not the next day, but within the next couple months, we were really flowing, and I feel like I keep growing closer and closer and more connected to my siblings every single day now that I actually put the time into that, and it's totally worth it.
And you've taught your other siblings to do the same.
That's part of the example of being an older sister and younger sister.
It is.
Everybody kind of picks up from each other.
They do. And definitely, even when you've had like arguments with your sisters that you share a room with and stuff like that, like how many times have you been like, I'm really trying to communicate well with you.
Right.
Can you please try really hard with me? Because you're starting to offend me, or you're starting to hurt me, or what you're saying isn't who you really are.
Yeah.
And so she's usually the first one to try to control what she says so that she doesn't just spit out words that she's going to regret.
Exactly. It's really, I feel like that's one of the reasons why I can think on my feet so well. It's really using my mind to its full capacity to think before I speak. I know everybody's heard that phrase, but it's super important. It's not just think before you speak so that you don't regret what you say later. Yes, that's part of it, but think before you speak so that they're going to do the same thing as well. Because if you show the example, they're going to be like, what am I doing? Like, she is acting whatever, so mature or so
Correct.
educated in this situation. I want to do that too. So everybody kind of picked up on that, and it really worked out well.
Awesome. Well, it was fun having you guys in the studio today.
It was so fun.
All right, we'll do it again.
Yes, totally.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.